early June we had some really nasty weather and a bad lightning strike at a neighbor's. This gave me a perfect excuse to stop by and see his foreign car operation. What a wonderful visit we had.
Here's a classic old Jag, XK140. Pity we don't have a little bit better light in here. Ah, that's much better. All I had to do was turn the light switch on. And this, once again, is the XK140. Really nice nick. What a great car. I think an old high school buddy of mine actually had one of these, although it wasn't in quite as good a condition. Over here, XK140. And here's the proud owner. And your name, sir?
Doug Latham.
And you've had English Auto here for how many years now?
40 years.
40 years, wow. And tell me a little bit about the 140 here.
This 140?
Mm-hmm.
I bought it in 1974. And the interesting story about this was I saw it for sale in the parking lot next to my house. Went over, the man said, I gotta have 15 for it.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to get married. There's no way I could afford that.
Gotcha.
I wanted to take my wife for a ride, so we took her for a ride, and I said thanks very much, but I don't know if I can afford that. He said, I don't know if you're going to get much better for $1,500.
Oh my God.
So I said, well, let me see if I can scrape something up. I had an Alfa Romeo at the time, and I sold it on a quick sale for $1,300 and gave him $1,300. He said, no, I got to have 15. I said, well, can I give you the 13, and after I get married I'll come back and I'll give you the rest of the money. He said, well, I don't know. He said, there's a bunch of parts that go with it, another motor and a trainee and stuff like that. I said, well, how about if you keep that as collateral, let me take the car.
Mm-hmm.
We've been neighbors for a while. He said, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So after the honeymoon, I came back. I paid him the $200 extra, and I moved here to Maine.
Where were you before?
Massachusetts.
Uh-huh.
And in the move, I lost the telephone number. I went back. He had moved. So I lost his number. I lost his telephone number. There's no way of me getting a hold of it. At least he's got his money. 4 years later, I found his number. I called him. He said, we were just thinking about you. He said, we still get your parts. If you want them, come down and get them. I said, I'll be right down. So I drove down to Massachusetts that day, picked up the motor, and there was a miscellaneous parts, brought it back here to Maine. The very next day, somebody came into my yard and said, do you have any XK140 parts? I said, well, I got a motor and some spare parts there. He said, what do you want for them? I said, well, what will you give me? He said, how about $1,500?
Oh my God.
So I ended up getting the car for nothing.
What a great story.
Then, of course, I needed to restore it. That was another $35,000.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah. So
it's in really a nice shape.
Oh, it is now.
Wonderful car.
Yeah.
So you still take your wife for honeymoons on it?
Well, ex-wife now.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
That's all right. This is what I call death row. Yeah, these are cars. Typically, this is a 104. This is how they come in.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when we finished up. This is how they leave.
Wow.
And over there we have an XKE waiting to be recycled back into the production facility.
Mm-hmm.
And here we have a little L9.
So this is the intake clinic, huh?
Well, yeah, this is where they come, and they, during the restoration, not everybody can afford a restoration all in 1 year, so we cycle them in and cycle them out.
Mm-hmm.
We bring them in here, we store them here, we do a little work. As you can see, this one over there, the little TR3, that's sheet metal to primer. Then he's put it on the hold, and then the next time we'll bring it in, do the paint job, and then we do interior and so on. So sometimes these things take 3 or 4 years.
Gotcha.
And this is the holding pattern. The other facility is the production facility, and that, you know, the cars in there are ongoing.
Gotcha.
You know, there we have a paint booth and sheet metal fabrication and a tack and trim room and a demolition area and storage facility for parts and things like that.
Excellent.
Yeah. And upstairs,
so those cars there are mostly, would you say, customer cars?
oh, they're all customer cars.
Okay.
Yeah, except for my 140. If you look right down here, this is our parts department, used parts.
Wow.
And every bin that you go in, this is all Triumph, and then the next one's MG, and then the next one's Austin Healey.
You hear that, you Brits? What a true.
It's not just the Brits that love English sports cars, you know.
Oh, I'm clear on that. Ever since I went to an SCCA rally as a 12-year-old, I've always wanted to have a Morgan Plus 4, but they keep getting more expensive.
Well, that's the problem with them.
Yeah. I think I'd settle for a TD now, but even those are getting out of reach. Nice ones. Wow.
Other parts as well.
Okay.
Upstairs on the 3rd floor is all sheet metal parts.
Wow.
This is all mechanical stuff here. We can go right through here
Okay.
and up the stairs, and then we go down the other way.
Alrighty.
This is the barn. That's the hayloft.
Wow. Well, since we're here, let's get the perspective. I see you have at least one horse. I saw that one.
I felt bad about it. That tree died. We turned it into a treehouse. Yeah, we just have the one horse. There's my poor Newport.
So you used to keep that at the Searsport Harbor, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, when I first moved up here, I saw it out in the morning a couple years, and then I noticed it was up here. I figured it was the same boat.
Well, yeah, it was.
Okay, you said this is a 58 Daimler Sport?
What they call the DAR. And we restored it here over the course of the winter. And it's the model that has the 8-cylinder Hemi.
Wow. What kind of horsepower did that get?
I don't know as I could actually tell you. The owner had another cam put in it, so it's a little difficult to say. But I'm sure somewhere around 260 or 280.
Wow, it probably made that jump.
Yeah, well, it's the fiberglass body.
Really? Oh yeah. So you're looking at what, 2,000-pound car, maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
We did all the leather work and interior. And actually came stock with a leather steering wheel, which we
Excellent.
redid.
Really nice. Really good stuff.
If you're thinking about a restoration or need some repair work, Doug Latham is the man to see at English Auto USA.
Give you a bill, how's that?
Sure.
Doug Latham, very nice man. Proprietor English Auto USA and mechanic extraordinaire.